Hey everybody, what's going on? It's your old pal Tom here on the Tom Gulley Show. This time, let me tell you about Agnes Moorehead. Yes, she's the actress that you may recognize as Endora, the worst mother-in-law of all time, on the legendary sitcom Bewitched. But as I'm going to tell you, Agnes Moorehead was so much more than that. A virtuoso, an integral, essential part of some of the greatest moments from radio history and motion pictures. You're going to be dazzled. You won't believe the things you didn't know about Agnes Moorehead until, of course, I tell you about them. This, of course, is our cold open. We do it to allow people to file in to our interactive YouTube chat room and to satisfy our fabulous audio podcast listeners so they don't hear the music I'm going to play in a second, to allow people the time necessary to get the notification, to make their way to YouTube, to, grab a delicious beverage or a savory snack. And then I play some music by our musical director, Leon Kennedy. And this time, I have two wonderful offerings for you. I have the very popular The Night the Spiders Attacked, and then a brand new creation called That's What We're Talking About. Now, if you're watching this on demand on YouTube, or you're listening in audio podcast form, you don't have to listen to the music. I recommend you do because it's very, very, very good. But if that's not your cup of tea, well, just fast forward through it. Nobody's going to be mad at you. And then get right down to the heart of the matter, which this time would be, let me tell you about Agnes Moorehead.
Tom Gulley on the airwaves laying down that beat. He heard a little rustle tapping soft and discreet. Turned around and saw some spiders dancing on their feet. All their legs were shiny gold and the rhythm pure heat. He thought, hold on baby, these little fellas groove kinda crazy, and the whole room lit like a disco dream. Oh, that was the night the spiders attacked. But with disco hearts, baby, nothing got whacked. Skittering, jittering, never losing the tact. Tom Gulley smiling, feeling all the impact. Oh, honey, no one got sacked on the night. Oh, the night, the night, the night the spiders attacked. Christian Slater walks in with his Hollywood stride, leather jacket shimmering, grin open wide. He saw those tiny dancers moving side to side. Didn't take a minute for the man to join the ride. Every spider in the room kept the groove amplified. The lights flickered bright like a Motown stage. Silky harmonies floating like we'd turn a new page. Spiders tapping rhythm like a miniature band. Oh, that was the night the spiders attacked. But with disco hearts, baby, nothing got whacked. Skittering, jittering, never losing the tact. Groove so smooth it bordered on abstract. Oh, honey, no one got sacked on the night, the night, the night the spiders attacked. spin the records on the radio dial. Now I'm on the screen with my YouTube style. Keeping it real, baby, that's alright. We're swinging through the topics every single night. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. Nothing special, nothing grand, but that's the show you understand. From the mic to the camera, hear me shout. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Got opinions, got stories, got a thing or two to say. Pour a drink, settle in, we're doing it our way. From the headlines to the punchlines, we cover all the ground. Tom Gulley is in the house, and we're laying it down. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. Nothing special, nothing grand, but that's the show you understand. From the mic to the camera, hear me shout. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. From AM waves to the digital scene, still the sharpest talker that you've ever seen. We keep it real, we keep it sharp, we keep it true. Radio days or YouTube nights, we're breaking through. With a late night broadcast or the earlier show, we're talking about everything and things you didn't know. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. Nothing special, nothing grand, but that's the show you understand. From the night to the camera, hear me shout. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. Nothing special, can't you see? But that's the Gulley guarantee. That's what we're talking about. 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 That's what we're talking about.
Hey, everybody, what's going on? What's hot? What's hip? What's happening? What is shaking? Let me tell you about Agnes Moorehead. Yeah, you think she's just Endora, the evil yet funny mother-in-law of Darren Stevens, the mother of, Samantha Stevens on Bewitched. But I'm going to tell you, she's so much more than that. I might even give you a little taste of some of her work on the radio before it's all done. Hey, before we get to the topic tonight, please do me a favor. Like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell. All those things that help us with the algorithm, the almighty, all-powerful, all-knowing algorithm. Plus, we have super chats, we have memberships, we have gifted memberships. If you'd like to support the show, go to our YouTube description, and you can do the PayPal, where you give the most, I get the most. Google doesn't get anything. They're doing okay. I think they're going to make it. Also, you can go to the TomGulleyShow.com. We've got a whole bunch of fun stuff there, in addition to our merchandise store. You can get stuff with our logo on it. People will think you're cool. They may mistake you for Fonzie. It's happened. And there's a lot of links and other things also on our YouTube Description. Let's go to our chat room very, very quickly. We have Leon Kennedy here. He's promising us a new song, even in addition to that banger I just debuted. That's what we're talking about. Rich Harris online is here. Good to see him. And Guido Samurai is here giving us the salute. So we do have the most cheerful chat room on the internet, as verified by independent sources. So you'll want to get in on that if you can, or just listen on demand. We don't care. But like, share, subscribe. It only costs a click. You can afford a click. It's free. And if it's free, it's for me. Let me tell you. And speaking of let me tell you about Agnes Moorehead, an American actress and a career spanning 5 decades. Her credits included work in radio, stage, film, television. She was the recipient of such accolades, and this is just a modicum, a dollop, a scintilla, ein bisschen of the accolades: a Primetime Emmy Award, 2 Golden Globe Awards, in addition to 4, count 'em, 4 nominations for Academy Awards. But it all started way back in December of 1900 in Clinton, Massachusetts. She was the daughter of former singer Mary Moorehead. Mary was 17 when she gave birth to Agnes, and her father was a Presbyterian clergyman, John Henderson Moorehead. Moorehead later claimed that she was born in 1906 to appear younger for acting parts, but that was a lot of hooey and probably showed how well she could act, if you ask me. She recalled that she made her first public performance at the age of just 3 years old when she recited the Lord's Prayer in her father's church. The family moved to St. Louis, Missouri, and her ambition to become an actress grew very strong, and her mother indulged her active imagination, often asking her, "Who are you today, Agnes?" while Agnes and her younger sister, Peggy, engaged in mimicry. This involved coming to the dinner table and imitating their father's parishioners. And they were further encouraged by his amused reactions, which I think is kind of cool that you've got a Presbyterian minister that enjoys seeing his parishioners being imitated by his children. As a young woman, Agnes Moorehead joined the chorus of the St. Louis Municipal Opera Company. Yes, the opera company in the chorus. In addition to her interest in acting, she developed a lifelong interest in religion. In later years, actors such as Dick Sargent from Bewitched recalled Moorehead arriving on the set with a Bible in one hand and a script in the other. Yes. She was also a person that was very scholarly. Agnes earned a bachelor's degree in 1923 while majoring in biology at Muskingum College in New Concord, Ohio. While there, she also appeared in college stage plays, and she received an honorary degree from there years later in 1947 and served on the board of trustees. When her family moved to Reedsburg, Wisconsin, she taught public school for 5 years in Soldiers Grove, Wisconsin. And she also earned a master's degree in English and public speaking at the University of Wisconsin. She then pursued postgraduate studies at the American Academy of Dramatic Arts, where she graduated with honors in 1929. Now, her early acting career was unsteady, and although she was able to find stage work, she was often unemployed and later recalled going 4 days without food and said that it had taught her the value of $1. She found work in radio and was soon in demand, often working on several programs in a single day. Agnes believed that it offered her excellent training and allowed her to develop her voice to create a variety of characterizations. And I'm just going to stop down for a second and say Agnes Moorehead was by leaps and bounds the greatest female performer on radio ever. She may be the greatest performer, male or female, on the radio ever. It was during this time that she met actress Helen Hayes, legendary actress Helen Hayes, who encouraged her to enter films, but Agnes's first attempts to get into the movie business didn't really result in any success. And so when she was rejected as not being, quote unquote, the right type, she returned to radio. Now, by 1937, she had joined the legendary Mercury Players. The Mercury Players were the acting group that was put together by Orson Welles. And Orson Welles was a boy genius. With the legendary War of the Worlds broadcast, he was the shadow, which will be important to Agnes Moorehead. And being a part of the Mercury Players on the radio was the height of the dramatic art. You couldn't get any better than that. And she was one of its principal performers, along with people like Joseph Cotton. In an appearance on the Dick Cavett Show in 1973, she revealed that in 1922, she had just by chance met Orson Welles, who was 15 years younger than her, when he was only 7 years old, at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in New York City. Crazy how things happen. She performed in his Mercury Theatre on-the-air radio adaptations and had a regular role opposite Welles in the legendary radio serial, The Shadow. Orson Welles, of course, played Lamont Cranston, the Shadow. She played his sidekick, Margot Lane. The Shadow was maybe the most popular show on the radio, and she had one of the lead roles. In 1939, though, radio wasn't big enough for Orson Welles. So he moved the Mercury Theatre to Hollywood, where he started working for RKO Pictures, and several of his radio performers joined him. And Agnes Moorehead made her film debut as the mother of Charles Foster Kane in the movie Citizen Kane, considered by most film critics one of, if not the best movie ever made. That's her first movie role. Mom of the lead character in Citizen Kane. Told you this Agnes Moorehouse is no slouch, let me tell you. In his second film, also, well, here she is again in Citizen Kane, in an earlier part of the film, sorry. His second film is also considered one of the greatest films of all time. And it was called The Magnificent Ambersons. She received a New York Film Critics Award in The Magnificent Ambersons. And she also received her first Academy Award nomination for her performance. And this is her second movie. Number 2 out of the gate. So she's in arguably the greatest movie of all time in her first movie, playing the mother of the lead character. And in the second one that she's ever in, also one of the greatest films of all time, she gets a New York Film Critics Award and an Academy Award nomination. She received very positive reviews for her performance in Mrs. Parkington, and she got the Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actress, as well as yet another Academy Award nomination. This is the woman that most people go, oh, that's Endora from Bewitched. Kinda, sorta. But other things too. She was then in The Big Street with Lucille Ball and Henry Fonda. And then in a couple movies that didn't do quite as well, but, you know. But by the mid-1940s, Agnes Moorehead had become an MGM contract player, negotiating a $6,000 a week contract. And that contract also allowed her to perform on radio, which was extremely unusual at the time. MGM was considered the top-of-the-line movie studio. It was the Cadillac of movie studios. Agnes explained that MGM usually refused to allow its actors to appear on radio as the actors didn't have the knowledge or the taste or the judgment to appear in the right sort of show. From 1943 to 1944, Agnes portrayed matronly housekeeper Mrs. Mullet, who was offering her candid opinion in Mutual Broadcasting System's The Adventures of Leonidas Witherall, a role that she inaugurated on CBS Radio. Now, throughout her career, she skillfully portrayed puritanical matrons, neurotic spinsters, possessive mothers, comical secretaries. She had supporting roles in The Youngest Profession, Since You Went Away, and in the crime drama, a big movie called Dark Passage with Lauren Bacall and Humphrey Bogart. She then played Aggie MacDonald in the 1948 film Johnny Belinda. She played Parthy Hawks, the wife of Captain Andy and mother of Magnolia, in the 1951 smash hit Showboat. She was in the Broadway productions of Don Juan in Hell and Lord Pengo. But in radio, oh boy, in radio. Her first radio role was appearing as a replacement on a show called The Gumps. During the 40s and 50s, she was one of the most in-demand actresses for radio dramas, especially on the CBS show Suspense. During the 946 episode run of Suspense, Agnes Moorehead was cast in more episodes than any other actor or actress. She was often introduced on the show as the First Lady of Suspense. And her most successful appearance was in the play Sorry, Wrong Number, which appeared for the first time in May of 1943. She plays a selfish, neurotic woman who overhears a murder being plotted over some crossed phone wires and eventually realizes she's the intended victim. She recreated this performance 6 times for Suspense and several other times on the radio, and always used her original dog-eared script. And for those of you watching on YouTube, this is a photo of her with that dog-eared script performing the role. The May 25th, 1943 airing was made part of the National Sound Registry by the Library of Congress. In 1952, she recorded an album of the drama and performed scenes from the story in her one-woman show in the 1950s. Barbara Stanwyck played the role in the 1948 film version. I think I'm going to stop down right now. I think I'm going to check the chat real fast, and then I'm going to play you just a couple of snippets from Sorry, Wrong Number. Let's see here. Guido Samurai says she wasn't nearly as scholarly as the average Gullerino, but I know what you meant. Richard Harris Online is referring to Orson Welles when he says, the French. Yes, the Paul Masson commercial where he's been overserved. Guido Samurai says, yes, Orson Welles was a genius. Wasn't he? Wasn't he? Guido Samurai says, I love the Shadow radio show. Dick Tracy is straight fire as well. Richard Harris says, gifted. Yes, and we are going to do a show on Orson Welles, and we'll probably do a show on the Shadow, too. By the way, Leon Kennedy will be appearing on Friday, and we will discuss Sherlock Holmes. Would you like to hear just a little bit of Sorry, Wrong Number? I bet you would. I bet you would. I'm going to play you just a couple little snippets. I've also included a link in our YouTube description and our audio podcast description of Sorry, Wrong Number. What do you think about that? I know. That's what made it such a beautiful gesture on my part. So without further ado or further ado, let me just cue up a little bit of Sorry, Wrong Number. I'm going to include the beginning of the show's suspense, not only because it talks about Agnes Moorehead, but because you get a real feel for that show, which was an incredible show on old-time radio. So here you go.
Suspense. Autolite and its 60,000 dealers and service stations bring you radio's outstanding theater of thrills. Starring tonight, Miss Agnes Moorehead in Anton Leader's production of Lucille Fletcher's famous suspense play, Sorry, Wrong Number. A tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Oh, dear.
Your call, please.
Operator, I've been dialing Murray Hill 40098 now for the last 3/4 of an hour, and the line is always busy. I don't see how it could be busy that long. Will you try it for me, please?
I will be glad to try that number for you. One moment, please.
I don't see how it could be busy all this time. It's my husband's office. He's working late tonight, and I'm here all alone in the house. My health is very poor, and I've been feeling so nervous all day.
Ringing Murray Hill 40098.
Hello?
Hello? Hello, is Mr. Stevenson there?
Hello?
Uh,
Hello? Hello, George? Yes, sir. This is George speaking.
Hello, who's this? What number am I calling, please?
I'm here with our client, George. Oh, good. Is everything okay? Is
But
the coast
who-
clear for tonight? Yes, George. He says the coast is clear for tonight. Okay. Where are you now? In a phone booth.
What
Don't
number is
worry. Everything's okay. Very well. You know the address. I know. At 11 o'clock, the private patrolman goes around to the bar on 2nd Avenue for a beer. That's right, 11 o'clock. Okay. Now be sure that all the lights downstairs are out. There should be only one light visible from the street. Okay. What's that? Just a minute, George. Our client tells me that at 11:15 a train crosses the bridge. It makes a noise in case her window's open and she should scream.
Oh, hello. What number is this, please?
Okay, I understand. That's 11:15, the train. Yeah. You remember
remember everything else, George.
Yes, I'll make it quick. As little blood as possible. Because our client does not wish to make her suffer long.
That's right. You'll use a knife?
Yes, the knife will be okay. Then afterwards, I remove the rings and bracelets and the jewelry in the bureau drawer because our client wishes it to look like simple robbery. Don't worry. Everything's okay. I never...
Oh, how awful, how unspeakably awful.
Direct.
Dial it direct, I'll do no such thing. I don't even know the number.
The number is in the directory, or you may secure it by dialing information.
Listen here, you... Oh, what's the use? Oh, dear. Oh, for heaven's sake, I'm going out of my mind. I'm going out of my mind. Hello? Hello, stop ringing me. Do you hear? Answer me. Who is this? Do you realize you're driving me crazy? Who's calling me? What are you doing it for? Now, stop it, I say. Hello? If you don't stop ringing me, I'm going to call the police. Do you hear? The police. Oh, Albert would only come home. Oh, let it ring. Let it go on ringing. It's a trick of some kind. I won't answer it. I won't, even if it goes on ringing all night. Just ring all night. I don't... What's the matter? Why did they stop ringing all of a sudden? Oh, what time is it? Where's my clock? Where is it? Where did I put it? 5 to 11. Oh, they've decided something. They're sure I'm home. They heard my voice answer them just now. That's why they've been ringing me. Why no one has answered me. Call the operator again. Wait. Oh, where is she? Why doesn't she answer?
Your call, please.
Where were you just now? Why didn't you answer at once? Give me the police department.
I am sorry. The line is busy. I will call you.
Busy? But that's impossible. The police department can't be busy. There must be other lines available.
The lion is busy. I will try to get them later.
No, I've got to speak to them now, or it may be too late. I've got to get to someone.
What number do you wish to speak to?
Well, I don't know, but there must be someone to protect people beside the police department. A detective agency.
You will find detective agencies listed in the classified directory.
But I don't have a classified. I mean, I'm too nervous to look it up, and I don't know how to use it.
I will connect you with information. Perhaps they will be able to help you.
Oh, no. Oh, you're being spiteful, aren't you? You don't care, do you, what happens to me? I could die and you wouldn't care. Oh, stop it! Stop it! I can't stand anymore. Hello? What do you want? Stop ringing. Will you stop it?
Hello, is this Plaza 32099?
Oh. Yes, I'm sorry. This is Plaza 32099.
This is Western Union. I have a telegram here for Mrs. Elbert Stevenson. Is there anyone there to receive the message?
I am Mrs. Stevenson.
The telegram is as follows. Mrs. Elbert Stevenson, 53 North Sutton Place, New York, darling. Terribly sorry. Try to get you for last hour, but line busy. Leaving for Boston 11 p.m. tonight on urgent business.
Oh.
Back tomorrow afternoon. Keep happy. Love, signed Elbert.
Oh, no.
You wish us to deliver a copy of the message?
No. No, thank you.
Thank you, madam. Good night.
Good night.
Okay, there's a little... I'm not going to spoil the ending. I could play it for you, but I'm not going to. That would be cruel. Gosh knows I don't want to be cruel. That's the last thing I want to do. But a woman who hears a crossed wire figures out that the murder that's being planned is her. And she's an invalid. She can't get out of bed, so she's making all these phone calls and going just crazy. Just crazy. Rich Harrod says, when's the last time you called the operator? Is that still a thing? I think it might still be. I don't know. Guido Samurai says, I love the old synth sound scoring. People don't appreciate how hard that was to do while doing radio. I know. Rich Harrod says, I worked in TV. It is rare to get something right in one take. I know. And it wasn't just her. It was all the other performers. They had to be perfectly in time and perfectly on point. Old school trolling. Yeah, kind of. Anyway, once again, in our YouTube description and in the description on our audio podcast, there is a link to Sorry, Wrong Number. It's only 27 minutes long. Brought to you by our 60,000 auto light dealers. Anyway. In 1941, Moorehead played Maggie in the short-lived Bringing Up Father program on the Blue Network. NBC Blue, NBC Red were two networks. NBC was so popular they had two radio networks, and then I think the FCC finally made them break one off, and I think it became ABC. But from 1942 to 1949, Moorehead played the role of the mayor's housekeeper in the radio version of Mayor of the Town. She also starred in The Amazing Mrs. Danbury, a situation comedy on CBS in 1946. She was described as the lively widow of a department store owner who has a tongue as sharp as a hat pin and a heart as warm as summer. She played one of her last roles on the radio on January 6, 1974, as Mrs. Ada Canby in the ironically titled The Old Ones Are Hard to Kill, in the very, very, very first episode of the legendary CBS Radio Mystery Theater. And all of those, I think, are available on the Internet Archive, and man, are they good. Man, are they good. In the 1950s, Agnes Moorehead continued to work in films and appeared on stage across the country in Don Juan in Hell, starring Charles Boyer, Charles Lawton, and Cedric Hardwicke, and had supporting roles in the big-budget Howard Hughes film, The Conqueror, with John Wayne and Susan Hayward. And that would be a film she later regretted appearing in. I'm going to tell you why a little later. And it's a very tragic, very happenstance sort of occurrence. She starred in The Bat. Yes, The Bat, with Vincent Price in 1959. She appeared as the hypochondriac Mrs. Snow in Disney's hit film Pollyanna in 1960. She starred with Betty Davis, Olivia de Havilland, Mary Astor, and Joseph Cotton, her old compadre from the Mercury Theatre, in Hush Hush, Sweet Charlotte, as the maid Velma, a role for which she was again nominated for a Best Supporting Actress Academy Award. In the world of television, she played a guest star on many series, including The Rebel with Nick Adams. Oh, yeah. And Alcoa Theater. Sure. Her role in the radio play, Sorry, Wrong Number, inspired writers of the CBS television series The Twilight Zone to script an episode with Agnes Moorehead in mind. What followed was one of the most legendary performances, not just on The Twilight Zone, but on television in general ever. The episode, called The Invaders, had Agnes Moorehead playing a woman whose isolated farm is plagued by mysterious intruders. Agnes Moorehead found the script odd because it had only one line of dialogue, and that line didn't occur until the very end. Her character gasped in terror once or twice, but never, ever spoke. Moorehead had guest roles on shows like Channing. Oh my God, Channing. I should do a show on Channing. Custer, Rawhide, and The Rifleman. On February 10th, 1967, she portrayed Miss Emma Valentine in Night of the Vicious Valentine on The Wild Wild West, a show we've done a show about on this program. And for that performance as Miss Emma Valentine, she won a Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Drama Series. Well, then came the role that, for good or for bad, she's probably best known for, and that is, of course, Bewitched. In 1964, Agnes Moorehead accepted the role of Endora, Samantha's mortal-loathing, quick-witted witch mother in the situation comedy. She later commented that she had not expected it to succeed and that she ultimately felt trapped by the success of Bewitched, but she had negotiated to appear in only 8 of every 12 episodes made, and that allowed her plenty of time to pursue other projects. She also felt that the television writing was often below standard and dismissed many of the Bewitched scripts as hack in a 1965 interview for TV Guide. However, the role brought her a level of recognition that she had not received before, as Bewitched was in the top 10 programs for the first few years that it aired, and then, of course, it went into heavy-duty syndication. Agnes Moorehead received not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, but 6 Emmy Award nominations for her work on Bewitched, but she was very quick to remind interviewers that she had enjoyed a long and distinguished career prior to the show. Commenting to the New York Daily News in 1965, "I've been in movies and played theater from coast to coast, so I was quite well known before Bewitched, and I don't particularly want to be identified as the witch." Despite all of this ambivalence, she remained with Bewitched until its run ended in 1972. And prior to her death, she said she'd enjoyed playing the role enough, but it was not challenging, and the show itself was not breathtaking, although her flamboyant and colorful character appealed to children. She expressed a fondness for the show's star, Elizabeth Montgomery, and she said she'd enjoyed working with her. Co-star Dick Sargent, who in 1969 replaced the ill Dick York as Samantha's husband, Darren Stevens, had a more difficult relationship with Moorehead, describing her as a tough old bird. In the fall of 1964, Moorehead participated in a 5-minute commercial spot featuring casts of both Bonanza and Bewitched. By the way, tomorrow afternoon, our show will be on Bonanza. And that commercial announced the new 1965 Chevrolet line. And Agnes Moorehead was featured with Dan Blocker, Hoss, extolling the virtues of the new 65 Chevy 2. Hey, do me a favor if you could. If you could like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell, especially those likes. They help us out so much with the algorithm, the almighty algorithm, and we'd really appreciate it. They don't cost you a cent. They just cost you a click. Help a brother out. Little something for the effort. We also have super chats and memberships and gifted memberships, and it's all just a way for us to try to reach our goal of any amount of money. In the 1970s, Agnes Moorehead's life was increasingly affected by declining health. In 1970, she appeared as a dying woman who haunts her own house in the early Night Gallery episode, Certain Shadows on the Wall. She starred with Shelley Winters and Debbie Reynolds in the horror film What's the Matter with Helen, and she had the lead role in the low-budget axe murderer film Dear Dead Delilah with Will Geer, her last starring role. She reprised her role in Don Juan in Hell on Broadway and on tour, with an all-star cast that featured Edward Mollar and Ricardo Montalban and Paul Einrade. Agnes Moorehead actually supplied the voice of the friendly goose in Hanna-Barbera's 1973 adaptation of E.B. White's children's book, Charlotte's Web. And many of you may have seen this animated feature. I have. It's really good. And I hate kids stuff. For the 1973 performance of Gigi on Broadway, Moorehead portrayed Aunt Alicia and performed various songs, including The Contract for the original cast recording. She fell ill during the production, resulting in Arlene Francis having to replace her. In 1974, in January, 3 months before her death, 2 episodes featuring Agnes Moorehead, including the series premiere episode, aired on CBS Radio Mystery Theater. She was married during her life. She married actor John Griffith Lee in 1930. They divorced a year after and fostered a boy named Sean Lee in 1952. They divorced a year after fostering a child in 1952. She married actor Robert Gist in 1954, and they divorced in 1958. Agnes Moorehead's sexuality has been the subject of much speculation and dispute. There were a number of articles that appeared in periodicals and alternative press that have said she was a same-sex person. But that has been extensively debunked, very debunked. Her close friend Debbie Reynolds stated categorically that Moorehead was not same-sex. Debbie Reynolds' autobiography mentions the rumor and states it was started maliciously by one of Moorehead's ex-husbands during their divorce. Many other people concur. Moorehead rarely spoke publicly about her political beliefs, but she supported both Franklin Delano Roosevelt. She actually portrayed Eleanor Roosevelt multiple times over the course of her career, and she supported close friend Ronald Reagan for his 1966 run for governor of California. Now, to the issue of that movie, The Conqueror. Agnes Moorehead was one of many people to have developed cancer after exposure to radioactive fallout from atmospheric atomic bomb tests while making The Conqueror with John Wayne in Iron City, Utah. Several production members, as well as John Wayne himself, Susan Hayward, Pedro Armendariz, and the film's director, Dick Powell, later died from cancer and cancer-related illnesses. The cast and crew totaled 220 people. By the end of 1980, 91 of them had developed some form of cancer, and 46 had died. Agnes Moorehead herself died at Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota, on April 30th, 1974, due to uterine cancer at the age of 1973. She's entombed in a crypt in Dayton Memorial Park in Dayton, Ohio, and in 1994, she was posthumously inducted into the St. Louis Walk of Fame. She bequeathed $25,000 to Muskingum College with instructions to fund one or more Agnes Moorehead scholarships. She also left half of her manuscripts to Muskegum, a Presbyterian school founded by her uncle, with the other half going to the University of Wisconsin. Moorehead's father was a Presbyterian minister, and in 1921, when Agnes was an undergraduate at Muskegum, the college presented an honorary degree to Bob Jones Sr. That's why Agnes left her family's Ohio farm to Bob Jones University. Agnes's mother, Mary, received all of Moorehead's clothing and jewelry, and Agnes made provisions to support Mary for the rest of her life. The Beverly Hills home was left to the Moorehead's attorney, Franklin Roner, with the furnishings and personal property within. Small bequests were made for friends and domestic staff, along with some charitable contributions. In her will, she made no provision for her foster son, Sean Lee. In fact, she had fostered Sean only until his 18th birthday, and her will stated that she had no children, natural or adopted, living or deceased. So perhaps she was a tough old bird. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is all I have to tell you. And hopefully I have rectified the myth that Agnes Moorehead was just an actress who played a witch in a situation comedy. She was so much more than that. A member of the Mercury Theatre, in Citizen Kane, in The Magnificent Ambersons, nominated for 4 Academy Awards, recipient of 2 Golden Globes, 2 Primetime Emmys, and renowned on the stage. She was an actress that excelled at every single level of every single medium that she took on. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how I would like everyone to remember the virtuosity and mastery that was Miss Agnes Moorehead. Let's get to some of your chats. Let me see. Rich Harris says, I love The Twilight Zone. It is good. We ought to do a show on it. In fact, let me write that down while I'm talking here. The Guido Samurai says, The Rifleman was so good. There's a dude from Texas that remakes his rifle. Well, actually, the rifle from The Rifleman is a specially made rifle for Lucas McCain. But the rifle that he uses in the opening is not capable of firing the shots that you hear while you watch the opening. We'll do a show on The Rifleman. I'll write that down too, because The Rifleman has a thing. It was interesting when The Rifleman was on the air. It was criticized for being way too violent. Sam Peckinpah was the director of a great many of the episodes, so you know it was bound to be violent. But it also received gigantic awards from humanitarian groups because of the wholesome relationship between Lucas McCain and his son Mark. So on the one hand, it's a violent, awful show. On the other hand, look at that heartwarming story of a single father and his son. Anyway, he looks a lot like Jim Carrey. He does, like it's his dad. They should reboot it with Jim Carrey. Tim Jenkinson, no, if there's a reboot of The Rifleman, there's one person that should play Lucas McCain. And you're looking at him. Too old now. Richard Harris says, the almighty algorithm. We do service the almighty algorithm here. Rich says, the almighty algorithm. One of us. Kids stuff is for kids. It is. Guido Samurai said, Tom, did you debunk that one? What? Which one? If you know what I mean. No, I did not. 91 cases of cancer. What the? Yes. They were testing something on them or something. No, they were just doing tests. And there was no coordination between the military or anybody else out in the middle of Utah. And so that fallout is what they think got them. You know, it was up in the sky and the cloud went over them or something. Richard says, nice one, Tom. A rifleman show would be it. It was violent, says Guido. Tim Jenkins says, meanwhile, her ex-husband wants to be remembered as I don't know that he wants to be remembered as radioactive. Richard Harris says, my fave old rifle was a Giordani air-powered one. Oh, I had a Daisy. Fallout. Yeah, Orson Welles. The French. The French. Saint Paul Maison. He had some problems that day, didn't he? Hey, coming up on the show tomorrow, we will be doing Bonanza. Yes, I got a right to pick a little fight. Bonanza. Hoss, Ben, Little Joe, the whole gang. Hop Sing, you name it. Then on Monday, we will cover the case of Floyd Collins, a man trapped in a cave that the whole nation was concerned about. It was a national news story. And by the way, a horrifying and awful story as well. But if you go into a cave, isn't there a little bit of, you got what's coming to you? Isn't there just a little? Just a touch? Just a smidge? Anyway, Tuesday, the Farmington mine disaster. The greatest and most tragic mine disaster in U.S. history. Wednesday, we will cover the career of Steve McQueen. Thursday, we do a missing person. And the missing person we will do on Thursday is Amelia Earhart, noted legendary female aviator. A week from Saturday, we will tell you about the Speedway bomber, the man responsible for setting off explosions all over Speedway, Indiana. And next Sunday, we did Hullabaloo last week. We'll do its nasty second cousin, Shindig. Shindig will be a week from Sunday. So there we go. Tim Jenkins says, it's cave and tunnel disaster week. Nice. Yeah. Well, you know, we like to please. We aims to please around here. The Nancy Guthrie thing just keeps going on. I stayed up all night watching them detain some people, SWAT trucks showing up, everything else, and nobody arrested. Nobody, just that sheriff's department out there. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm just saying, I don't know. I'm just saying, I don't know. That's all I'm saying. Speedway bomber sounds like the wacky races. Well, we could do a show on the wacky races if you really want us to. That would be a kind of a show that we would do on this program, the wacky races. I think it's wacky racers, maybe. I don't know. Coach Mike is here. He says, sorry I'm late. Hello to all my friends in chat. Oh, hey, Tom. Coach, no one's ever late to the Tom Gulley Show. But now that you're here, hit the like. Hit the like. Cops need 24/7 body cams. Well, a lot of them have those. I have to wait till tomorrow to see how Arsenal will manage to screw up its fourth round FA Cup tie against Wigan Athletic after our Brentford. Really? Pima County seems a little Keystone-esque, don't they? And that sheriff, and he's got problems with the FBI. That passive-aggressive post he put out there, he was like, we will have a statement later. 2 hours later, he puts out another one. As requested by the FBI, we will not put out a statement. Oh, they made you do it. Let me tell you something. The FBI, if there's one thing they know a little something about, it's kidnappings. They were invented because of kidnappings. I mean, do I smell a Tom Gulley First Amendment audit on the sheriff? No. Those are kind of I mean, I get their value and stuff, but aren't they just a little... Why are you being a jerk? Just a little bit. Just a little bit. It's the ones that stand outside the post office that are just kind of antagonizing people. It's like, yeah, you're allowed to do it. I'm also allowed to like walk straight in front of you at the grocery store and have gas. You just don't do it. And if you go, I'm allowed to, then you're just a jerk. You know, there's certain times when it's super appropriate, but... And more people, I'll be honest, do need to realize that out in public, you don't have a right to privacy. But the ones that stand outside the post office and wait for some 75-year-old woman to walk out who doesn't understand and then just give her the business, stop it. A Gulley audit would be the greatest gift. Tim Jenkins says, surely they can't lose to Wigan unless they put the youth team out. Well, isn't that what they did on Thursday against Brentford? They're going to bottle it. I'm telling you. Arteta out. I'm not trusting the process. I should be trusting the process. I'm not trusting the process at the moment. Anyway. I think that's all I got today, kids. But I will be here again, same bat time, same bat channel tomorrow, when we will cover Bonanza. Oh, yeah. We will cover Bonanza. So please, if you could just do me that hit the like thing. And by the way, those of you listening in audio podcast form, go ahead and follow and hit the like or do whatever you do on one of the 30 platforms we're on. Go ahead. Guido says, I hate it unless it's auditing corrupt cops. Then it's funny. Yeah, there's times when it's legit, you know. But like I said, the post office ones are the ones that get me. It's like, what are you really doing? And I love how they always say, how are the burgers, Tom? Oh, well, they were so spectacularly good. Oh, God. It was a triple cheese on each one. I love those auditors. It's, I'm gathering content for a story. Have you ever seen a story from one of these guys? Ever? Has there ever been a story? I've never seen a story. If they're doing a story, they're doing a darn fine job of hiding it. Know what I'm saying? I've never seen a story. They're not doing a story. But anyway. And see, I'm weird because I also like the window breaking sovereign citizen videos at the same time. I'm not driving, I'm traveling. Busted window, get out of the car. Show me your ID. I don't have to show you an ID. I'm a sovereign citizen. Good. You're in the sovereign state of Texas. Give me your ID. You got to be licensed and registered to drive on the roadways of Texas. No, I don't. I'm a private citizen. Well, then build a private road and drive on that. These were paid for by the taxpayers of Texas, and they require you to be registered, insured, and licensed. Tim Jenkinson says, just play Disney music. If they try to film you, then they can't use it. Yeah, that's another thing a lot of them do now. But there's a way to remove that music now, too. So Richard Harris says, I love those. Those are good, aren't they? They sit there and they want to litigate the whole thing along the side of the road. And it's like, ask them, tell them, make them. You know, would you please give me your license, registration, proof of insurance? Give me your license, registration, proof of insurance. If you don't give me your license, registration, and proof of insurance right now, I am going to take you out of the car and put you in handcuffs. And then anything they say after that. There's one that was like 14 seconds or something. Yeah. I love those traveling. It might have worked once. I'm not in commerce. I'm not engaged in commerce. This is my private vehicle. Tim Jenkins says, oh, those idiots. We have some of those over here as well. Well, one of the best channels is the Van Balian channel. And that guy is from the UK somewhere. Tim Jenkins says it doesn't go well for them in court. Rich Harris says somebody saw somebody confuse one cop with that rhetoric. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Is this maritime law? Is this maritime law? Or they'll quote Black's Law, which is like a dictionary or something. It's not even a law book. It may have certain tort laws, but it's not the codified law under the Constitution of a state or the United States, and they quote stuff from it. What crime have I committed? Well, you're speeding, you're driving without a registration, you're driving without insurance. Those are infractions. Those are not crimes. Yeah, okay. Jordan Maxwell has done this, says Rich. Yeah. They're good. They're entertaining. So, Black Slaw. This is slaw with the black lettuce. Anyway, okay. Put a 1 in the chat if you'd like to hear The Night the Spiders Attack. Wait, no, I'll play you the new song Leon Kennedy's done. Incidentally, Leon Kennedy on Friday will be on the show live. He and I will discuss Sherlock Holmes. And he's from the UK, so he probably knows all about it. He's probably been to 221B Baker Street. He probably knows Dr. Watson. Probably went to Dr. Watson for his last checkup. Anyway, hey, thank you all for being here. You guys are awesome. Please like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell. We did not meet our daily goal of any amount of money again today, but that's, you can't have everything. Anyway, I'm looking at that old clock on the wall. It says, I got an Amscray. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. And with all that being said, tomorrow, Bonanza, don't miss it. Rich says, God loves you, Tom. Peace out, y'all. The only thing left to say is, till next time, we'll see you next time.
To spin the records on the radio dial. Now I'm on the screen with my YouTube style. Keeping it real, baby, that's alright. We're swinging through the topics every single night. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. Nothing special, nothing grand, but that's the show you understand. From the mic to the camera, hear me shout. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. Got opinions, got stories, got a thing or two to say. Pour a drink, settle in, we're doing it our way. From the headlines to the punchlines, we cover all the ground. Tom Gulley is in the house, and we're laying it down. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about. Nothing special, nothing grand, but that's the show you understand. From the mic to the camera, hear me shout. That's what we're talking about. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. From AM waves to the digital scene, still the sharpest talker that you've ever seen. We keep it real, we keep it sharp, we keep it true. For radio days or YouTube nights, we're breaking through. With a late night broadcast or the earlier show, we're talking about